Hello everyone on the internet and YouTube. I thought I would do a slightly different video to normal. This video will be sort of talking you through a kit that I purchased and all the work I'm going to do to it, and the progress and where to get certain bits and pieces from. I bought this off eBay. Was it Saturday? This is actually, well, on the box it shows an N-class locomotive or kit from SE-Finecast or Will's Finecast. But this kit you can make into a U class or U1 class or an N1 class. And this loco was listed incorrectly on eBay by Rails of Sheffield, calling it an N class. But as you can see, as we scroll down, this is actually built as a U class with amazingly the same number as one on the Bluebell 1638. As you can see, the loco is in a complete state. It is complete, albeit I was going to show you running, and I've just found out it's not running at all, albeit it is slightly running, but there seems to be a short somewhere, so I'm going to have to investigate that when I take it apart. So this is what we have. We have a complete kit here of a U class 260 and a slanted tender. The tender needs a little bit of work because it's rocking around on the middle axle, so that needs a bit of work on it. The chassis itself looks quite good, but again, as I mentioned, there's some shorting, so I'm going to have to look at the electrics in there, and it's an etched brass chassis as well, so it could be catching somewhere and shorting. The brake rigging and gear is on the wrong side. It should be on the opposite side of the wheels, so we're going to have to sort that out. The paintwork's quite lumpy and bumpy in places and not very even, so that'll be stripped off and repainted into southern olive green like 1638 is now. You can see quite a chunk of the running plate is missing. I'll zoom in there, hopefully it will stay in focus. You can see just around the expansion link there, they've chopped out a big section to make it fit, so I'll be replacing that bit as well to make it complete once again. The valve gear is nicely done on this loco as well. It's even got etched plates on there, but I think I might get some more done by Narrow Planet, because they're quite nice plates and good value plates. As I mentioned, repaint. I might change the safety valves and whistle on the top of there with some nice brass turned ones. Add some loco crew obviously as well. Give it a good old clean and repaint. Probably add some tender pickups as well, using a small plug, a 2mm plug from DCC Supplies, which will should improve the running. As I mentioned, there is a problem at the moment, so but in the short burst it did do, it ran okay. So I just thought I'd show you this. This cost me about £102. I was expecting it to go for a lot more, as I noticed it was a U class, and I was expecting other people would notice it too, but luckily nobody did, I don't think, so I grabbed it while I could. And I don't mind a bit of work on these to make it my own, as you know, so it'll be an interesting project. I'll probably replace the buffers as well with sprung buffers, as these are unsprung and probably cast. It's got some lamp irons on it, which is good, so I can add some root discs to it. And yeah, hopefully in the next video I can show you some progress. I'll probably start stripping it down, looking at what's in it and what needs doing, and I'll bring you another update when I have one. Okay, we've got the body off, as you can see. It's actually got quite a nice new type, what looks like an OX4 motor in there. Basically what came in the old Triang models. It's quite well constructed. It's etched brass chassis. It seems there's a little bit of locking. As you can see, the brake rodding parts are on the outside instead of in the middle, of it will have to be unsoldered and put into their correct place. The wiring looks a bit dodgy as well, as you can sort of see by the amount of tape. It's generally fixed in position with 2 screws, one on the front and one on the back, you can see there. As I mentioned, I'll probably attach some more wires onto the motor to go to extra pickups on the tender. And generally it's quite in good condition. It probably needs a bit of a run and a clean and a sort out. The body itself is a white metal body, as you can see in there. He's obviously had some shorting in the past with some tape on the underside here as well. You can see it's quite stuffed full of lead in the front of the barrel there. There's probably a little bit more room you could put more in. You can also see it's got insulating tape on the inside, so again it looks like it's had problems with shorting in the past, so we'll have a look at that and see what we can do with it. And yes, hopefully after a look into the problems, and hopefully we can identify a few and fix it up and get it running properly. The body will be stripped probably now, put in some paint remover, which will probably take a few days to work and get rid of all the lumps and bumps. As you can see, it's got paint missing and a nice big chunk missing to allow the expansion link to fit under the running plate, which needs to be sorted out. But generally a good old strip down and clean and the fix up will probably sort it out quite a bit, and hopefully make it run a little bit smoother on the chassis anyway when we clean it all up, oil it up, and get all the pickups working properly. And hopefully in the next sort of part I'll bring you, I can show you the starting of probably hopefully the painting and the modifications I've made on the chassis and also the strip body, and then we'll go into talking about repairs, which will probably be done with plastic card, a bit of filler and replacement parts as well, which will probably be about mid or end of March when I do the next part. But hopefully that sort of shows you an insight as to how we go about, or how I go about looking at various kits and fixing them up and putting them back into shape and usability, and also hopefully in the end will look quite nice. As you can see, the running plate's quite bent as well, so we'll have to try and straighten that out some way. But anyway, I hope that shows you sort of the first part of going into sorting out a kit loco. Okay, so we're sort of at the stage where it's been stripped of its paintwork from its original paintwork condition. You can see it's just bare white metal now. The chassis has actually been painted and repaired in some places. You can see we've taken off the brake rigging from the outside, which will be then put onto the inside of the chassis. That'll be another small repair which will involve a soldering iron, and I'll probably do that in the next few days whilst waiting for some parts to turn up. Anyway, as you can see, it's been stripped with paint stripper. It's just normal Wilkinson's paint stripper, actually, quite cheap. I think it's seven quid for quite a big bottle of stripper. It was then put over the body with a paintbrush and left to soak in. And it came off quite easily. It just peeled off eventually. So this is after about 1 or 2 days work, waiting for it to react and peel off. The wheels, as I mentioned, have just been painted up and cleaned up a little bit. I've been painting it with this precision paint here. Hopefully you can see that just about. This is the Monsell Light Olive Green, sort of 1930s condition. You can see the number there, P76. So that's what I'll be using as the main colour on this loco. I'll just knock the loco roof off there. Anyway, going on to sort of the main bits. As you can see, it's completely stripped down back to its original finish, which is white metal. But then I sort of wanted to improve it slightly. Obviously it's quite an old kit with quite a new chassis underneath, so I went about looking at ways of improving the kit as a whole, and this mainly is just refining bits and pieces and fine tuning it. It's got quite a nice cab, so there's no work going to be done there. On the top of the firebox there, zoom in for you, I'll probably replace the safety valves with some nice brass turned ones, probably sort of I forgot the name of them, brass pop safety valves, tool ones. Then we need to replace the whistle as well, because that's disappeared as well. Along the side here, obviously we have to replace that rather big hole around the expansion link. That's obviously been cut out to enable the movement of it, because it's actually nice movement now, nice and free. So I imagine the person's cut that chunk out to enable this part to move and rock backwards and forwards. As you can see, I've taken the smoke deflectors off, which are down here as well. As you can see, they're quite chunky, and I was trying to find some etches of the smoke deflectors, but sadly there isn't any around. So the idea I had, because this is an N-class / N1 / U and U1 class, which is basically a compromise on all of it. So what I've done is I've basically sent out an email off to Bachmann, and because Bachmann do an N-class, which is next to this one. I'll just take the chimney off before I lose it. Let's roll that one out of the way. This is a Bachmann N-class, not the one with the smoke deflectors. I've got that one as well. But what I've basically done is I have asked Bachmann to provide some spares off the sort of sheet that they give you, which I have just behind. This is a sheet, or the N-class steam engine sheet, so if you need any spares you can always go to the sheet and email Bachmann and see if they'll provide them for you. As you can see here, we've got part numbers next to the individual item. What I've basically done around the front end, I've put on order to see if they do them, the 2 smoke deflectors and also the 2 steps which go along the front. That's the main front end, which I'm going to change and try and refine a little bit. I'm also going to change the buffers to Southern Railway's step buffers, which are from markets, which I'll show you when they arrive. But the main change which will happen is at the back of the loco, and that's to do with the tender.